So here I am in my flourishing garden. It looks beautiful, right? I love it. This is my sanctuary. Now, what about this? What does this look like? This is something nobody should ever have to deal with, especially not at home. Well, this is a violation notice from my HOA, my homeowners association. And that's why I'm making this video. I want to explain to you guys the basics of what's been happening, because the truth is, I'm going to court against my HOA, and I'm going up against some very powerful people who don't want to lose. So I need your help. I've been farming since I was a kid. I grew up on a farm. That's where I learned everything I know. Now I live on a small homestead here in Tennessee. We have about 3 acres. On our 3 acres, we raise meat chickens. We also have layer chickens. We have a large garden. We preserve our food. We do all the things that I talk about on this channel. And this property came with my wife and kids. It was part of our family's estate. And that's why it was so important that I preserve it, because it was something that was given to me by my parents when they passed away. But there's one thing you have to understand about this place. It comes with an HOA. Now, I know most of you are thinking, wait a minute, he lives in the country. How can he possibly have an HOA? Well, the answer is he can. It doesn't matter where you live. If you live in a development, chances are you're going to have an HOA. But what you need to know about HOAs, they're really only interested in one thing: money. They want your money. So let me tell you about this. I got a letter from my HOA, and what they said in this letter was basically that I had violated the terms of my covenants, my conditions, my restrictions, and they said that I had done 3 things wrong. Number 1, I had too many chickens. Number 2, I was keeping livestock on my property. And number 3, I was operating a commercial enterprise. Now, I wasn't doing any of these things, but I'll show you what they say that I was doing. Let's start off with number 1, too many chickens. Well, what they're saying is that I had over 30 chickens on my property. I didn't, but that's what they said. Well, what does the rule say? The rule says you can't have more than 6 birds. Well, that's crazy. Who came up with 6 birds? Why 6 birds? You know, if you're going to make a rule, at least make it reasonable. But anyway, I called the president of the HOA and I told him I had gotten this letter, and I asked him about it and I said, "Hey, what's going on with this?" And his exact words to me were, "You've been warned. You now have 9 warnings," and he hung up on me. All right, well, I thought maybe it was just a misunderstanding. So I went ahead and I sent them a letter back, and I explained to them that I did not have 30 chickens. I had 18 chickens. I said they were my pets. I loved them. I took care of them. I sent them pictures, and I asked them to come out and take a look and see that I wasn't violating the rules. Well, instead of coming out and looking, what they did was they sent out another violation notice, and this is the second one that I got. So I was a little upset. Well, I tried to be reasonable. I called the president again and I said, "Hey, listen, I've only got 18 chickens. Can we work something out?" And he said, "No, we want all 18 gone, and then you can keep 6. So now they wanted me to go from 18 to 6, and I thought that was completely unreasonable. So at that point, I decided I wasn't going to take it anymore. I was sick of getting these violation notices, and I had worked too hard to get this property, and I wasn't just going to let them bully me around. So I had had enough. All right, so here's what I did. I called a lawyer and I said, "Hey, listen, I think I need your help. I think my HOA is trying to bully me and I don't know what to do." So he gave me some options. He said, "Okay, here's what you can do. You can go ahead and you can sue them. You can file for a declaratory judgment. What that means is that you're asking the court to tell you whether or not you're violating the rules. Or what I can do is I can send them a demand letter. And basically I'll tell them I want you to recognize that I am not violating the rules, and I want you to stop sending me violation notices." Well, I decided I wanted to try the demand letter first and see what would happen. So the lawyer wrote the letter, sent it off, and we waited. And what happened next, I will never forget, because it was literally like something out of a movie. I'll never forget it. It was late in the afternoon. I think about 4 o'clock, and I was sitting at my kitchen table and I heard a knock at the door. I opened up the door, and who was standing there but the president of my HOA and the vice president of my HOA, and they both looked very nervous. And they said, "Hey, can we come in and sit down and talk to you?" And I said, "Sure." So they sat down at my kitchen table and they started asking me questions about how many chickens did I have. And I said, "Well, why?" And they said, "Well, we just want to make sure." And I said, "Make sure what?" "Make sure that you have enough evidence to go after me." And they both kind of got red-faced and they started stuttering a little bit. At that point, I knew I was done. I called my lawyer and I said, "Hey, they just showed up at my house. I think we need to get this process started." So I filed suit against the HOA, and that's when things got real serious. All of these documents that you're seeing right now, and this is a small portion of them, but all of these documents right here, these are the things that I've had to deal with. They're all blurred out because I'm not going to expose my private information for the world to see. But I just want you to know, this is what it looks like. This is the stuff that I have to deal with. And I couldn't even begin to tell you how much this has cost me. It's been tens of thousands of dollars. This isn't just some little dispute between me and my neighbors. It's become a full-blown war. And the worst part of it all, it's taken a massive toll on my mental health. I go to sleep every night wondering if I'm going to get sued. I wake up every morning wondering if I'm going to get sued. My anxiety is through the roof. I haven't been able to sleep good in months. And the worst part of it all, I feel completely alone. I mean, I have some neighbors who are supporting me, but a lot of them aren't. A lot of them side with the HOA because they just want peace. They don't want to deal with all this drama. But that's the thing. When you have an HOA like this, eventually they're going to come for you. They don't care how long you've lived there. They don't care if you've been a good neighbor. They don't care about any of that. All they care about is control. And here's what it really boils down to. Do I have the right to farm on my property, or do I not? And that's what the judge is going to have to decide. Because you know, when people think about farmland, they think about big open fields with cows and tractors and things like that. But the truth is, farming can happen anywhere. It doesn't matter where you live. Farming is a way of life. And if I can't do it here, then what can I do? What hope do I have? So that's what's been happening. Basically, that's the HOA versus the farm in 100 seconds. I know this is a lot of information to take in, but I promise you, if you stick with me, I will keep you updated. But I hope this helps explain some of the things that I've been dealing with and why I've been away from the channel. And here's what I want you guys to do for me. If you've got an HOA story, I want to hear it. Please comment below and let me know what's going on. Maybe we can help each other. Maybe we can find some solutions. But I want to hear your story. And one last thing, please consider subscribing. The more people that are subscribed, the more people that are notified when I put out new videos, and I have a lot more videos coming your way. Now, I know a lot of you are probably curious about the outcome of the case, but I'm not at liberty to discuss that right now. I'm actually not allowed to discuss that until next month. I believe it's October. But all I can say is that I hope for the best. I'm hopeful. But either way, I will let you all know. Just stay tuned. Thank y'all for watching. Signing out.